Good evening. Thank you for joining us for our February Maximizing Middle School Success session. I'm Narvette Kelly, the Curriculum Resource Teacher at RSGA. For this evening, our talk will be about understanding FAST scores and how to set wildly important goals with your child using the data chat form that went home with all students on Wednesday. We're going to take a look at the Focus portal and FAST test results to prepare for the final FAST assessment and talk about how we can use that data chat form in order to prepare. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're going to do is take a look at the family data chat form that went home with all students on yesterday. On yesterday, all students received printed FAST scores from the first and second progress monitoring assessments, along with a letter explaining that the results from the first progress monitoring assessment have been fitted to a new scoring scale. So we included both Progress Monitoring 1 and Progress Monitoring 2 scores and sent them home with the children. In a letter, it shares with you how you can access your child's scores electronically. You can access scores through your child's Focus portal account, or you can log in through the Focus Parent portal. Once logged in, you will see an icon that says Florida Statewide Assessments. The link goes to the State of Florida's Family Portal. In order to be able to get into your Focus account, for parents, you have to have a Focus Parent Portal account to access your child's scores. If you have not activated your Focus Parent Portal account, and if you need assistance, we have a link at the bottom of the page, and it also has a QR code. If you click on that link, it takes you to the Focus Parent Portal request form. Okay, when you click the link, this is the Parent Portal Help Request form. You fill in your information, including your name, telephone number, email address, and let us know your child's team or the name of one of the teachers if you don't know the team, and then click Submit. This form goes directly to Ms. Kelly's inbox, the CRT at the school, and she will reach out to you and provide you with assistance. If you have all of the information you need, we're going to go into Focus Parent Portal so that you can see what it looks like from within the portal. And also, as you look at your child's scores, this is the link to a parent guide provided by the state of Florida. If you scan the QR code or if you click the link, it will take you to the Florida Department of Education's Florida Standards Assessments Parent Guide, and it will give you more information. We're now going to take a look at the information that you will find once you log into the FAST portal. And so I'm going to show you how, when you go on Focus, how to get to your child's scores electronically. All right, when you log into Focus, you'll see the platform with the Columbia County Schools logo and the general information that appears when you log into Focus Parent Portal. You select the student first. Once you select the student and you get to the area where your child's grades are, you'll see this icon, Florida Statewide Assessments. When you click on that icon, it's going to take you here. That icon, that picture takes you directly to the online FAST testing parent portal for the Department of Education. When you get here, you'll be able to see your child's language arts and reading score and your child's math score for this year. This is for the progress monitoring assessment that the children just took. If you want to see all the results from the school year and not just for progress monitoring assessment 2, you click this icon. Then as you scroll down, you will also see progress monitoring results from the first FAST assessment. When you get here, it shows you your child's scores and where they fall in terms of whether they scored anywhere from level 1 to level 5. For this particular student, on the most recent FAST reading test, this student scored a 236, which is a level 3 in reading. In mathematics, this student scored a 231, which is also a level 3. You can look at the colored bar, and where you see the arrow, that shows you where your child scored. In order to determine whether or not your child made growth on the FAST assessment, you compare the most recent results to the results from the first FAST test. So the most recent test is for FAST reading, taken on December 14th. For the reading, we just saw that this student scored at a level 3. To see how she did on the first FAST test, you scroll down and you can see where this reading score was done on September 6th. And you can see where the student fell. Excuse me. So this student moved from a 225 to a 236. So you may ask the question, well, how do I determine if my child made enough growth between the first and second FAST assessments? This is how. What your child scored on the first FAST assessment is going to determine whether or not they showed growth on the second assessment. If your child scored a level 1, within level 1, there are 3 score bands: low level 1, middle level 1, and high level 1. If your child moves from a low level 1 to a middle, or to a middle to a high, or from a high level 1 to a level 2, then that's growth. For students who score a level 2, there's low level 2 and high level 2. If a child moves from a low level 2 to a high level 2, then it's growth. Students who scored a high level 2 have to score a level 3 on the next assessment in order to show growth. Students who scored level 3 on the first progress monitoring assessment have to have a score that's 1 point higher than the fall score. And that is the same for students who scored level 4. If your child scored a level 5 on the very first FAST assessment, all level 5 students, if they continue to score a 5, regardless of what the score is, it's considered as learning gains. So we're going to take a look at this student. This particular student scored a high level 2 on the first FAST assessment. We're going to scroll up to see how she did on the second one. On the second math assessment, she scored a level 3. So she went from a level 2 to a level 3. That means that she showed growth on this particular assessment. To determine her reading progress, we're going to go back to the first progress monitoring results. For assessment number 1, she scored a 225 in reading, which is level 3. If this student scores a 226 or higher on the second FAST assessment, then she showed growth. And so as we scroll up, we see that she moved from a 225 to a 236. So the student did show growth. The reports that we provided for you that were printed were a simplified reports. Within the FAST portal, and this is the beautiful thing about being able to check your child's scores online, you're able to download a report that gives you more detail. So when you click that button, you'll see a window pop up that says detailed report. You click download and it'll show you the detailed version. There's a second arrow down at the bottom that takes you to resources for understanding these student reports. When you click that link, a window opens. The report for families that we shared the link for on the flyers that went home is here. Also, if you want to learn general facts about the FAST tests, you're able to click on that. And if you're a person who just really loves data and information, if you go to the additional resources section, you can learn more information about the achievement levels. And there is also more resources on understanding the best standards that the children are learning in school. This spring, the students will take the BEST writing assessment. And so if you click that link, you're able to see for grade 6 that they have rubrics for argumentative and expository passages that you can look through. And if you visit the FAST resource portal that Ms. Kaysen shared about during our November session, you can get practice tests in order to practice for the next FAST. For now, because we've still got a few minutes left, we're going to talk about how to complete the family data chat form. So we're going to close out of all of this and return to our data chat form. Okay, this is our family data chat form that went on with all of the students on yesterday during the Wildly Important Goals Wednesday time that we had this week. Teachers worked with the students to start reflecting on their performance for the first half of the year. And we talked a little bit about goal setting. And so for each child had an opportunity to reflect on what they've done well this year. And it could be any positive thing that they've done. And so let's say that for a particular student, let's say that student has been working really, really hard in math. And so we're going to say here that I improved my math grades by turning in all of my assignments. There's a reason why I chose that particular one. It's because for number 2, the question that all students were asked was, have I been completing work on time, or do I often have 1s or 0s in the gradebook? Every Wednesday, and we've shared this before, all students are supposed to check their grades within Focus. And so if I go back to our students' profile that we took a look at previously, on Wednesday, every child logs into Focus. Within Focus, they're able to click on their grades. When they click on the grade, it takes them to the teacher's gradebook. Students have to do this for every class that they have. And in any class where they have a 1 listed in the gradebook, that indicates a missing assignment. You will have to communicate with your child's teachers concerning how long your child has to turn in assignments that are missing. What students are supposed to do is for any assignments they have missing on Wednesdays, they are supposed to take out their planners and write down those missing assignments in their planners as a reminder to get those assignments done. So on Wednesday afternoons, when your child comes home, even though we do this at school, since the children can't take their Wednesday papers home, have your child to log into their Focus account, click on every class, and show you the teacher's grade book so that you can see whether or not your child has any ones. This particular student has 2 ones in this particular course. And so the student would need to have that written down in their planners. Check their planners to make sure they're writing those missing assignments down. Some of the children's grades have been what they are because they may not have written down their missing assignments. So we're going to go back. For every class, they're supposed to take care of this. So for every single class, they're supposed to check, they're supposed to write those down. And then it's an honesty check for them to see if they've been completing their work on time, or if they often have 1s or 0s in their grade book. Okay? All you have to do to determine that, if your child didn't get this far on yesterday, is have them go back to the previous 9 weeks. You're able to do that within Focus and look at those grades. And so this particular student, for the most part, let's say that the student keeps up with their assignments, but sometimes I forget to turn things in. Okay? And so then as a family, you talk about, based on your routines, what more can be done to help your child turn in grades, and then thinking about FAST scores as well, because their academic progress in their classes will determine how they do on the FAST. So if there are some areas where your child's grades may be lower than they'd like, this is where you talk about what the child can do at home. And so for this particular student, there were a couple of missing assignments. And so with what this particular child can do at home, you talk about that with your child. And so let's say that you decide to, on Wednesdays, that you will check Focus together and talk about grades. That way you're constantly monitoring how your child is doing. And if your child is struggling in a class, it's a good opportunity to have a discussion about things that they can do in order to improve. For example, I'll share a situation that I had with some students when I was helping in one of their classes. It just happened to be a math class that I was helping in. And some of the kids asked me, well, can you come to my language arts class? I'm really having a hard time in there. The work is really hard. And so I asked them, well, when you struggle with an assignment, are you asking the teacher for help? And I got the blank stare. So that's a part of it. So, I can ask my teacher for help. Well, are there some things online that you can take a look at? I'll share with you. If you go back and look at our December and January MMsss sessions, we talk about how to maximize your child's success in language arts and how to maximize success in math. So in addition to this, you can also add, as a parent, I can review some of the previous that the school has posted. Okay. And also, part of my job here at RSGA is to be a resource for children and for families. And I'm going to make this a little smaller because I need a little bit more space. And so we can reach out to the resource room for ideas. We have resources available in our resource room. If your child is struggling in a particular area, a part of what we do involves helping with that. So what you can do as a family to support academic growth, we have a series of academic nights at the school. And so a good suggestion would be to participate in the family nights that RSGA offers. At our literacy event on Tuesday, we shared tips and strategies that parents can use at home to help children be successful in language arts. And so if you missed that session, please reach out to Ms. Kelly and we can share with you the resources that we shared with parents. On February 26th, we will be having a math night at Winn-Dixie, and on March 11th, we'll have a math night at Harvey's. May I suggest also that you attend some of those sessions and continue to tune in monthly to these sessions. We're here to help you. The fifth question is, what are the goals for me for my sixth grade year that will help set me up for success in the future? So this is the time for your child to set a goal based on how they did on the first semester. And we recommend that the goal be a reasonable goal. So for example, if your child made A's, B's, and C's during the first semester, we might not want to set A honor roll as a goal. AB honor roll could be a goal, or it could be a habit. When students came back from the winter break, in their classes on the very first week Wednesday we talked about goal setting. And so the children had an opportunity to participate in that. And so your child can write one of those goals in this spot, for that. And so we can just go back to the assignments and say, I will make sure all of my assignments turned in. The goal could be as simple as that. And the final thing that the children do is set a goal for the next FAST assessment. And we're going to use our example student from earlier. And so on with our student from earlier, we're going to go back to her FAST scores. And we're going to record her FAST scores. And we're going to talk about how to set the goals for that. All right, on the first FAST test in reading, she scored a 225. So we're going to write that down. And on the second FAST test, she scored a level 3, which is 236. Now she has to determine a May FAST score. To determine the May score, what you do is you go back to the September score, because the September score is what's going to determine whether the child made learning gains for the year. And so the child was a high level 2, so that we're going to say that her May score is going to be a level 3, and any level 3 score will satisfy that requirement. Since the child scored a 236 on the December FAST score, let's go 1 point higher, since that is considered as growth on level 3. And so we're going to say her goal is a 237. For math, on the mathematics, the student scored a 227 in the fall, and she scored a 231 on the winter. So she made gains. Since we're trying to make learning gains each time for a level 3, you only need to score 1 point higher. So let's make the goal of 232. So something reasonable, something simple. Then, now that our form is completed, the child signs the form, and as the parent, we have you to sign the form as well. And so now this form gets turned into your child's first period teacher. The class that has all students turn in their forms, well, any class that has that, will receive a treat from Ms. Lee. So parents, we're encouraging you to please work with your child on getting this form and turning it in tomorrow. So I just want to check in really quick to see if anyone has any questions. Well, if no questions, Thank you for tuning in to our February Maximizing Middle School Success session. We hope we were able to share some things with you that will be helpful in helping your child maximize their success for the rest of the school year. As we have you do every month, if you will please take a moment to visit the link to complete the evaluation form. Please share with us your thoughts on this month's presentation so that we can tailor our March presentation to the needs of our school community. The next Maximizing Middle School Success session will be on Thursday, March 14th, same time at 5:30 p.m. on this line. Have a great evening.